Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin exhibits an overall upward trend, supported by consistently breaking through resistance levels and the positive forecast for the next week. The RSI fluctuates between 55.3 and 67.5, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been trending within the bands, with recent price action nearing the upper band, suggesting bullish momentum. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. We will utilize the RSI for entry and exit signals, the Bollinger Bands for confirmation, and support/resistance levels for setting stop-loss and target prices. The entry price for this long position will be $78,900, coinciding with the first day of the forecast period and a potential bounce from the lower Bollinger Band. The stop-loss will be set at $78,200, just below the support price of $74,400, to limit potential losses if the price reverses. The initial target price will be $80,100, aligning with the forecast price for May 1, 2026. If the price continues to rise, we will adjust the stop-loss to break even and set a secondary target price of $80,700, based on the forecast for May 3, 2026. This strategy combines the bullish forecast with technical indicators to maximize potential returns while managing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum shows a generally upward trend with recent price fluctuations. The support price consistently remains at $2,130, while the resistance fluctuates around $2,370. The RSI values have been oscillating between 52.6 and 64.5, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands show periods of contraction and expansion, suggesting volatility. Given the forecast prices trending upwards towards $2,430, a bullish strategy is warranted. I recommend a long position strategy with an entry price of $2,390 on April 27, 2026. We will use the RSI and Bollinger Bands to refine this strategy. If the RSI falls below 30, we will consider a long position. The stop-loss should be set at $2,350 to protect against a potential pullback. The initial target price will be $2,430, aligning with the forecast. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band, we will consider raising the target price to $2,450. This combined strategy leverages both technical indicators and the forecast to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP shows a slight upward trend. The price has been fluctuating between a support of $1.33 and a resistance of $1.44. The RSI indicates that XRP is generally within the neutral zone, with occasional forays into slightly overbought territory. The Bollinger Bands suggest periods of volatility and potential price reversals. Considering these factors, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will initiate a long position when the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition. For example, if the RSI falls to 28, we will enter a long position at $1.35. The stop-loss will be set just below the support level at $1.32 to protect against a potential downside breakout. The target price will be set at the resistance level of $1.44, aiming to capture a significant portion of the upward potential. To enhance the strategy, we will incorporate Bollinger Bands analysis. If the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it signals a potential buying opportunity. Let's say the price reaches $1.35 and touches the lower band. We will enter a long position at $1.35, with a stop-loss at $1.33 and a target price at $1.45, slightly above the resistance level. Combining the RSI and Bollinger Bands, we will prioritize entries when both indicators align. For instance, if the RSI is at 25 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, we will enter a long position at $1.35, set a stop-loss at $1.32, and target $1.45. This combined approach should provide a robust strategy for maximizing returns while managing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows a slightly upward trend. The support price has been consistently at $616, while the resistance fluctuates around $638. The RSI has remained within the 48.8 to 59.7 range, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price movement. Considering these factors, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will enter a long position at $637, placing a stop-loss order at $616, just below the established support level. The initial target price will be $646, aligning with the forecast for May 3, 2026. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price breaks above the upper band, it signals a strong upward momentum, prompting us to raise the target price to $652. Conversely, if the price touches the lower band, it indicates a potential pullback, and we should consider tightening the stop-loss to $636 to protect profits. This combined approach, leveraging both RSI and Bollinger Bands, aims to capitalize on the prevailing upward trend while mitigating potential risks. The portfolio will be 60% long BNB with a stop-loss at $616 and a target price of $646, and 40% in cash for flexibility. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana demonstrates a slight upward trend with price fluctuations. The RSI consistently remains within the 47 to 57 range, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been oscillating within the bands, suggesting moderate volatility. Considering the support price of $79 and the resistance price of $91.7, and the forecast prices hovering around $87.3 to $88.2, I recommend a moderate long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $87.3 with a stop-loss order at $83.4 and a target price of $91.7. This strategy aims to capitalize on the potential upward movement while mitigating risk with a well-defined stop-loss. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI falls below 40, we will consider a long entry at the next closing price. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it signals a potential buying opportunity. If the RSI exceeds 70, we will consider exiting the position. The target price remains at $91.7, representing the resistance level. Therefore, the final portfolio will be a combination of these three strategies, with a long entry at $87.3, a stop-loss at $83.4, and a target price of $91.7, adjusted based on RSI and Bollinger Band signals to optimize returns and manage risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON has shown a slight upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI fluctuates between 52.9 and 73.3, indicating both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been relatively tight recently, suggesting lower volatility. Considering the forecast for the next week predicts a price around $0.323, with a support at $0.315 and resistance at $0.324, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will initiate a long position when the RSI falls below 30, targeting a price of $0.33. The entry price will be $0.32, with a stop-loss set at $0.315 to protect against downside risk. To maximize returns, we will employ a tiered profit-taking approach. First, we will take partial profits at $0.325, securing a small gain. Then, we will move our stop-loss to the entry price of $0.32 to lock in profits and protect against potential reversals. Finally, if the price continues to rise, we will aim for the resistance level of $0.33, where we will close the entire position. This strategy combines RSI signals, Bollinger Bands analysis, and support/resistance levels to achieve a balance between risk and reward, aiming for high returns while managing potential losses. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin shows a slight upward trend. The RSI values fluctuate between 48.1 and 61.3, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions consistently. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting a period of consolidation. The forecast price for the next week predicts a continued upward movement, reaching $0.101. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. we will enter a long position at $0.0984. The stop loss will be set just below the support price at $0.0969 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $0.101, aligning with the forecast. To refine the strategy, we will incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will consider adding to our position at $0.0984. Conversely, if the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, which is currently around $0.1, we will consider taking partial profits and moving the stop loss to break even. If the price reaches $0.101, we will take full profits. This layered approach allows us to capitalize on potential upward momentum while mitigating risk through strategic stop-loss placement and profit-taking opportunities. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano shows a slightly upward trend with price fluctuations within a defined range. The support price consistently holds at $0.248, while the resistance is at $0.26. The RSI fluctuates between 43.4 and 53.3, indicating neither extremely oversold nor overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is currently near the middle band, suggesting potential for both upward and downward movements. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Bands for optimized returns. I recommend a long position entry at $0.252 on Monday, April 27, 2026, based on the forecast price and the recent upward momentum. The stop loss should be set at $0.247, just below the support price and the lower Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses. The target price is set at $0.254, aligning with the forecast and the upper Bollinger Band. If the price reaches $0.254, consider taking profits. If the RSI falls below 30, consider exiting the position. This strategy aims to capitalize on short-term upward movements while mitigating risk through strategic stop-loss placement. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin Cash shows an overall upward trend, consistently testing and bouncing off the support price of $449. The RSI values fluctuate but generally remain above 40, indicating a neutral to slightly bullish sentiment. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price movement. Given the forecast prices are trending upwards, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $453, placing a stop-loss order at $449 to protect against potential downside risks. Our initial target price will be $460, aligning with the recent resistance level. To refine the strategy, we will incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will consider adding to our position at the prevailing price, with a slightly higher stop-loss. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 80 or above, suggesting an overbought condition, we will consider taking partial profits and tightening our stop-loss. Furthermore, a breakout above the upper Bollinger Band would signal a strong bullish momentum, prompting us to raise our target price to $461. This dynamic approach, combining trend analysis, RSI signals, and Bollinger Bands, aims to maximize returns while effectively managing risk, with a final target price of $461. Based on the historical data and forecast, Chainlink shows a slight upward trend. The support price is consistently at $8.94, while the resistance is at $13.8. The RSI fluctuates between 49.8 and 58.9, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands suggest periods of volatility, with the price occasionally touching the upper band. Considering these factors, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will enter a long position when the RSI falls below 50 and the price is near the lower Bollinger Band. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position at $9.55. The stop loss should be set slightly below the support price at $8.94 to protect against unexpected downturns. The initial target price is the resistance level at $13.8. However, given the recent price action and forecast, a more aggressive target could be considered. We can adjust the target price to $13.8 if the price breaks above $9.72. This strategy combines RSI and Bollinger Band signals, aiming for high returns while managing risk effectively. The portfolio will be 60% long position, 30% cash, and 10% short position. Based on the historical data and forecast, Morpho demonstrates a slight upward trend. The price has been fluctuating between a support of $1.84 and a resistance of $1.96. The RSI consistently remains above 50, indicating that the asset is not severely oversold or overbought. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is currently near the upper band, suggesting a potential for a pullback. Considering these factors, I propose a moderately bullish strategy. We will initiate a long position at $1.92, capitalizing on the upward trend and the recent price action. The stop loss will be set at $1.85, just above the support level, to limit potential losses if the price reverses. The target price will be $1.96, the resistance level, offering a reasonable profit margin. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate the RSI. If the RSI falls below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will reevaluate the position and potentially hold or reduce exposure. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 70 or higher, suggesting overbought conditions, we will consider taking profits or tightening the stop loss. This combined approach, utilizing trend analysis, support and resistance levels, and RSI signals, aims to maximize returns while effectively managing risk. The portfolio will be 60% long Morpho, 30% in cash, and 10% in a hedging instrument. Based on the historical data and forecast, Maple Finance exhibits a generally upward trend, although with some volatility. The RSI values fluctuate, but generally remain within a moderate range, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increasing market volatility and potential price swings. Given the forecast prices trending upwards and the current price hovering around $0.252, I recommend a long position. The entry price should be set at $0.241, coinciding with the first forecast price. A stop-loss order should be placed at $0.234, just below the recent close price and the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, to limit potential losses. The initial target price should be $0.261, aligning with the forecast price for May 3, 2026. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 20, oversold, consider entering a long position at the subsequent price increase. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 80, overbought, consider exiting the position. Furthermore, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it signals a potential buying opportunity, while touching the upper band suggests a potential selling point. We'll adjust the target price to $0.261 if the price breaks above the resistance level of $0.273. This combined strategy, leveraging historical data, forecasts, and technical indicators, aims to capitalize on the upward trend while mitigating risk through strategic stop-loss placement and dynamic target adjustments. Based on the historical data and forecast, Injective shows a clear upward trend. The price has been consistently moving towards the resistance level of $4.29, and the forecast for the next week predicts further increases, reaching $4. The RSI values have mostly been above 50, indicating bullish momentum, and have recently crossed 70, suggesting a potential overbought condition. The Bollinger Bands have been expanding, confirming the increasing volatility and upward movement. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. Specifically, I suggest entering a long position at $3.6, coinciding with the start of the forecast period and a reasonable entry point given the recent upward trend. To manage risk, set a stop loss at $3.43, just below the recent low of $3.54. For the target price, aim for $3.94, aligning with the forecast for May 1, 2026. This strategy combines the momentum of the upward trend, the confirmation from the Bollinger Bands, and the RSI readings, while incorporating a risk management approach with a clearly defined stop-loss and target price. Based on the historical data and forecast, THORChain shows a clear upward trend. The price has consistently tested and bounced off the support level of $0.431, and the RSI has generally been trending upwards, indicating increasing buying momentum. The forecast for the next week predicts continued price increases, with a potential to reach $0.517. The Bollinger Bands also suggest a bullish outlook, as the price has been consistently trading above the moving average, and the bands are widening, indicating increased volatility and potential for further price movement. I recommend a long position strategy. My strategy is to enter a long position at $0.485. Given the upward trend and the potential for further gains, I will set a target price of $0.517, aligning with the forecast high. To manage risk, I will place a stop-loss order at $0.475, just below the recent low and below the lower Bollinger Band, providing a buffer against potential pullbacks. This strategy combines the bullish signals from the RSI, Bollinger Bands, and forecast data, aiming for a high reward, moderately risky trade. The expected profit is 0.517 minus 0.485 is equal to $0.032 per THORChain. Based on the historical data and forecast, Jupiter shows an overall upward trend with increasing momentum. The price has consistently bounced off the support level of $0.171, and the forecast suggests a continued climb towards $0.195. The RSI values have fluctuated but generally remain within a range suggesting neither extreme overbought nor oversold conditions, except for a few days where it dipped below 60. The Bollinger Bands indicate periods of volatility, but the price has largely remained within the bands, suggesting stability. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy focusing on capitalizing on the upward trend. The entry price for this strategy will be $0.18 on April 27, 2026, coinciding with the start of the forecast period and a slight upward movement. A stop-loss order should be placed at $0.171, just below the established support level, to protect against potential downside risks. The initial target price will be $0.189, aligning with the forecast for May 1, 2026, and a potential resistance level. If the price continues to rise, the target price can be adjusted upwards to $0.195, the final forecast price on May 3, 2026. This strategy combines the upward trend, support and resistance levels, and forecast data to maximize potential returns while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Kite shows a fluctuating trend with support at $0.127 and resistance at $0.155. The RSI fluctuates between 40 and 50, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been narrowing recently, suggesting decreasing volatility. The forecast for the next week indicates a slight downward pressure, with prices hovering around $0.141 to $0.145. Considering these factors, I recommend a cautious strategy focusing on short-term movements within the $0.137 to $0.145 range. My recommended strategy is to enter a long position at $0.137, placing a stop-loss order at $0.134 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $0.145, aiming to capture a moderate upward movement. If the price reaches $0.145, we will move the stop-loss to the entry price of $0.137 to secure profits and further participate in the upward trend. If the price breaks below $0.137, the trade will be closed, and we will reevaluate the market conditions for a potential short position. This strategy balances risk and reward, capitalizing on short-term price fluctuations while protecting capital. Based on the historical data and forecast, Raydium shows an overall upward trend with recent volatility. The price has been fluctuating around the support level of $0.66, but the forecast indicates a continued increase towards $0.739. Considering the RSI readings, which have been mostly below 80, not overbought, and occasionally dipping below 30, oversold, there's room for further gains. The Bollinger Bands also suggest potential for upward movement as the price has been oscillating within the bands, and the forecast price is above the center line. Therefore, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.699. A stop loss should be placed slightly below the support level at $0.65 to limit potential losses. The initial target price should be set at $0.735, aligning with the recent high and the forecast peak. To optimize the returns, I propose a layered approach incorporating the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the price reaches the initial target of $0.735, a portion of the position can be closed while maintaining a trailing stop loss around $0.715 for the remaining shares. If the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, consider adding to the position at $0.65. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band, indicating a strong upward momentum, raise the target price to $0.737 and consider scaling out gradually. This dynamic strategy combines trend following with opportunistic rebalancing, maximizing potential profits while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, SafePal exhibits an upward trend. The price has been consistently moving higher, supported by the recent RSI values climbing above 50 and nearing overbought territory, peaking at 71.7. The forecast data further reinforces this bullish outlook, projecting a steady increase from $0.335 to $0.36. We will implement a combined strategy utilizing RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. Initially, we will enter a long position at $0.335, coinciding with the first forecast price. A stop loss will be placed just below the support level at $0.345 to mitigate potential downside risk. Our target price will be set at $0.355, aligning with the resistance level and a reasonable profit margin. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band, we'll consider it an opportunity to enter a long position, confirming the asset is potentially undervalued. Conversely, if the price reaches the upper band, we'll consider taking profits or tightening our stop loss. The core strategy remains a long position with an entry price of $0.335, a stop loss at $0.345, and a target price of $0.355. This approach balances the bullish trend, technical indicators, and support/resistance levels to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Lido DAO shows an uptrend with increasing momentum. The price has consistently traded above the support level of $0.375, and the forecast indicates further price increases. The RSI has been fluctuating between 53.1 and 74.5, suggesting periods of both buying and selling pressure, but overall trending upwards. The Bollinger Bands have been expanding, indicating increased volatility and potential for further price movement. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy. I suggest entering a long position at $0.412. The stop loss should be set slightly below the support level at $0.375 to protect against potential downside risks, and the target price should be set at $0.45, aligning with the forecast high. This strategy combines trend analysis, support and resistance levels, and RSI and Bollinger Band signals to maximize potential returns while minimizing risks. The RSI is currently below 80, so the asset is not overbought and there is room for further upside. The price is near the upper Bollinger Band, suggesting a potential for a breakout and further price increase. Based on the historical data and forecast, Terra Luna Classic exhibits an upward trend. The RSI consistently moves above 50, reaching 80 on April 26, 2026, indicating overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands also show a widening range, suggesting increased volatility and potential for further price movement. Considering the forecast data, the price is expected to continue rising, reaching $0.0000642 on May 3, 2026. Therefore, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position when the RSI falls below 40. The entry price will be $0.0000330. The stop loss will be set at $0.0000310 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $0.0000500, based on the upper Bollinger Band and RSI levels. To refine the strategy, we will use a dynamic target price based on the support and resistance levels. If the price reaches $0.0000500, we will move the stop loss to the entry price of $0.0000330. Furthermore, if the price breaks through the resistance level of $0.0000632, we will adjust the target price to $0.0000650. If the price reaches $0.0000650, we will move the stop loss to the $0.0000632. This strategy combines RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels to maximize potential profits while minimizing risks. The portfolio will consist of 60% of the strategy,